Sculpted by Amy is not K-beauty, and here's why. There is a murkiness on what's counted as K-beauty or not, and although there are absolutely an official definitions of what K-beauty is, everyone has their own personal opinion on what counts as K-beauty or not, and here's mine. Sculpted by Amy is really, really smart with their marketing. They make it completely known that the owner has been back and forward to South Korea for roughly a decade, that their products are manufactured, packaged in Korea. Don't quote me on that. I haven't officially looked it up. This is a little bit more of a free rant video. And they put this all over the packaging. It's a huge selling point to them. They came out with their foundation cushions that have been trending in Korea since the dawn of time. And when people see something that is made in Korea, that sticker means so much to so many people these days. It's such a wow moment because K-beauty is having a moment. Thank God for my social media. I absolutely love how mainstream K-beauty has become, but this has caused some confusion within defining what is K-beauty. So I saw someone online, they said that they went to Boots and they bought a Korean foundation and it was sculpted by Amy. Now, people in the comments were angry at them saying, that's not a Korean foundation, it's an Irish foundation, an Irish brand. But how would that person know that if the back of the packaging says made in Korea and they didn't carefully read everything else talking about it being an Irish brand? Because honestly, a lot of people, they skim stuff, they don't perfectly read everything and watch videos like this to define what K-beauty is. Why should they care? Why does it matter to them? So there can be misunderstandings like this. Sculpted by Amy, they've never said that they're K-beauty, and I really appreciate them for that. They never try to mislead people. They make it aware that they are made in Korea and the connection to Korea. They have staff that are living full-time in South Korea. Cool. But they don't lead people on saying that they are a K-beauty brand. That's consumers of Sculpted by Amy who don't properly look into things, that kind of just see Korea in passing and just say, oh, it's K-beauty. But let me give it to you this way if you're still a little bit confused and think, well, if it's made in Korea, doesn't it make it K-beauty? If a Korean brand was manufactured in Ireland, packaged in Ireland, but it wasn't sold in Ireland, it was only sold in Korea, would you say that that's an Irish brand? Because I wouldn't. I would say that that's a Korean brand that's just made in Ireland. It's the same with, there's so many Irish brands that are made in China, made in Italy, made in France, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. That doesn't make them a Chinese brand. And so this leads me on to what I count as K-beauty. I count K-beauty as a brand that was started in South Korea. It doesn't have to be owned by Koreans, and I'll explain why, and made in Korea and sold in Korea using Korean ingredients, Korean formulations. Doesn't always have to be, but rice, PDRN these days is trending, snail mucin. These things make it more of a K-beauty brand in my eyes. Now, the reason why I said it doesn't have to be a company that was started by Koreans is because there was a K-beauty brand that was started in Korea by a foreign woman, and she made a lot of different darker complexion foundations, cushion foundations for foreign women in, well, not even just foreigner women in Korea. There's a lot of Koreans themselves who are tanned and they could never get a foundation that matched their real skin tone. And this was before Tier launched all their colours, so I wonder if there was a bit of inspiration from these two brands. That can happen. So that brand, even though it was run by a foreign woman, she was living in Korea, she started the brand in Korea, it was sold in Korea using Korean ingredients, a Korean factory. I personally would count that as still K-beauty. But let's be honest, Korea is a homogenous country where over 98% of Korea are Koreans. So most K-beauty companies are going to be owned and run by Koreans. But this is where it gets really, really murky. Would I count glowrecipe as K-beauty? Glowrecipe is a brand that was started by two friends who worked in L'Oreal Korea. So they lived in Korea for a number of years. They're Korean American. I'm not exactly sure if they were technically born in Korea or born in America, but that doesn't really matter in my eyes. And then they went back to America and they launched their own brand called glowrecipe. It's really, really good. I love glowrecipe, actually. The reason why I count this as K-beauty is because there is a grey zone with them. They are a company that started in America. They're based in America. They manufacture in Korea and they're sold in America worldwide. I'm not too sure if they're actually sold in Korea or not. But because these two women have Korean ancestry, because they really focus on Korean ingredients, Korean formulations, Korean innovation, I then see this as the brand of, okay, you can pass. I count you as K-beauty. But there's some people who wouldn't. There's some people saying, no, these are American women. This brand was founded and started in New York. Just because it's made in Korea doesn't make it K-beauty. And I understand that argument too. Personally, whenever an Irish skincare brand is really, really trying to rope me in with the psst, it's made in Korea, because they think I will be so bamboozled with, wow, it's made in South Korea, I must buy it right now, because I tell everyone about my obsession with K-beauty. So they usually try to rope me in that way. It's a good selling tactic. It's an excellent, excellent marketing and selling tactic saying that something is made in Korea. I do not blame any cosmetic company, any Irish cosmetic company for selling this way. But personally, if a brand is marketing itself as an Irish brand, it's proud to be an Irish brand, I want to see the jobs in Ireland then. Did you know that most of the Botox in the whole world is made in Ireland? In Westport? We have the labs. We're a country that is famous for chemistry. We could have a lot of cosmetic manufacturing labs, chemists here, creating more jobs here. We have so many natural ingredients in Ireland. Seaweed is a fantastic skincare ingredient, and we are surrounded by seaweed on this island. We have a lot of other natural ingredients that are great for skincare, but it's not being utilised enough, in my opinion, in Ireland. We could be utilising that. We could be giving more Irish people a chance for our economy here really to flourish. So when an Irish brand says that they're made in Korea, that doesn't really impress me. I'd prefer to see more Irish brands championing, Irish born and bred talent here rather than being manufactured in Korea. But because K-beauty has become so mainstream and it's so popular these days, and a lot of people do have the lines blurred between what is technically K-beauty or not, and to be honest, it doesn't really matter if a product is good and it performs well. It doesn't exactly matter where it's made or how it came to the shops. But I think it's important to clarify what counts as K-beauty or not, because on my social media, when I'm talking about K-beauty, I don't want someone coming up to me and speaking to me about K-beauty when it's not technically K-beauty. I want to keep it mostly K-beauty here. I will go off the track from time to time when it's worth it, when something is so good that even though it's not K-beauty, I want to talk about it. But in general, I want to stick to K-beauty because I love K-beauty. K-beauty to me is what I'm fascinated about because it's so good. It performs so well, so innovative. They're so ahead of us in skincare, in beauty, and it works. It really, really works. That's why it's become so mainstream and so popular. And that's exactly why everyone is trying to jump on this K-beauty train.